Okay, now we're going to check to see if there's any damage to the axle shafts. One of the things we have to do is rotate this pinion to get the axle shafts to move. But when you move this slow, it's hard to tell if anything is tweaked or not. So what I did is I just take a cordless drill, put a little chuck fitting in there, up it to my 1.1/8" socket. I'll put it on the pinion and rotate it that way while I watch the axle shaft flange. That flange looks pretty straight. So now I'm going to move my light to the other side. We're going to take a look at the passenger side. As you can see, that side's kind of foobarred. So now I don't know, is it the axle shaft or is it something in the housing that's bent? The way I'm going to check this is to pull this shaft and grab a spare shaft, put it in there and see if the spare shaft acts the same way. If the spare shaft runs straight, then I can confidently say that the axle shaft itself is bent. In order to take axle shafts out now, you're going to notice right back inside there, you see the little shiny nut? There's 4 of those retaining nuts behind the axle shaft. This is how easy it is to remove an axle shaft for a replacement on the trail. So when you look at the axle shaft end, you have this big hole right here. All you got to do is rotate it, line it up with that nut, take all 4 nuts off. Once you get those nuts off, your shaft pulls straight out. Simple as that. One thing you got to be careful if you're replacing the actual shaft is that the race will stay inside, most of the time it'll stay inside the axle tube. So you got to make sure you get that out too before you put your new axle shaft and race inside. And we'll take a look at that as soon as we get it apart. So my next job, get each of those 4 nuts off, pull the axle shaft out.